Hello, everyone. This is Cody Lee, owner of BlackCatBooks.org and author of Cruel and Beautiful and Rabbit Hole. The current state of Resident Evil is interesting, to say the least. A lot of people are saying that Resident Evil is in the middle of a golden age, a resurgence in popularity. It is far better than it was 10, 20 years ago. that Capcom has made a return to form, that they've been putting out nothing but great games, and it simply isn't true. Now, it is true that Capcom has finally gotten away from the action game phenomenon with the series, moving away from what made 5 and 6 so terrible. But I think that's like a radically different thing than saying that Resident Evil 7 and 8 are good. Like, I was really surprised upon watching some footage of gameplay for Resident Evil 8, how it just doesn't look all that interesting. Like, everything that I enjoyed about 7 doesn't really seem to be improved on with this one. In fact, it seems like a lot of people's enthusiasm for this game seems to have died down. Even with 7, which I generally liked for the first couple of hours, at least. I really liked the first couple of hours of 7. Tapered off near the end with, like, its inability to sort of make the game entertaining for longer than a few hours. I feel like with 8, they couldn't even do that. Like, I feel like 8 hasn't been able to expand on the formula of what worked in 7 and make it more compelling and interesting. I don't think Resident Evil 8 is bad because it's different, which is the opinion I've heard like Razorfish share. I think Resident Evil 8 is bad because the developers who are working on this game have no creativity and have no means of really making no real ability at making a horror game. Like, I just don't think they're able to do it. I don't think they're going to be able going forward to make good Resident Evil games again. And I said this with Resident Evil 2 Remake came out, which was also extremely overrated. Like, the only reason Resident Evil 2 Remake was as beloved as it was because, like, it was a remake of 2, in full 3D, an already beloved game. An already beloved game for modern hardware. That they didn't, like, completely botch Resident Evil 2. The Final Fantasy 7 Remake or any of these other, like, terrible games in the past couple of years. So, by default, it was better than everything they've put out. Everything else they've put out recently. And they botched it by Resident Evil 3 Remake. Resident Evil 8, it feels like the same thing to me. It feels like they fundamentally cannot make engaging, entertaining video games. Like, I don't think Resident Evil is ever truly going to be great ever again.